That shot that Steph Curry hit, that tied the game, obviously. I think that was the biggest three he's ever hit in his career. And we were hard on him yesterday, and he deserved the criticism we gave him yesterday. But he showed up huge in the first half, and then he showed up huge when he made that three at the end, right?
Because you're absolutely right, Skip. And it could have been really, really deflating because they knew when Kevin Durant went down, they knew it was serious. And you could see the momentum start to shift a little bit. But Klay and Steph, mainly Steph, says, nah, bruh, we're not losing this one tonight. And he kept them ahead because you think of an injury of that significance. Now, they haven't, but they know what it was. They saw Kevin Durant. He grabbed his Achilles. He motioned like, come get me. But Steph was he was unbelievable, Skip, in the first half. He really was.
Okay. But he wasn't unbelievable in the second half, and they were teetering and teetering.
No, he wasn't that great.
But the guy who was the rock last night, that's why I'm going to remember this as the Klay Thompson game. Klay Thompson scored 6 points in the first quarter and 6 points in the second quarter and 8 points in the third quarter and 6 big points in the fourth quarter. So he's rock for them. He kept on making shots. He was the difference maker to me. And again, they got a huge game from DeMarcus Cousins that I did not see coming. But obviously they lost Kevon Looney again. He's going to try to suck it up and get some more rehab and play in Game 6. But they lost him for the remainder of the game last night. So DeMarcus just had to play big, and he did. He made 6 of 8 shots. That's 14 points and 6 rebounds. So that was critical. But the big... Go ahead.
Skip, if you don't mind me interrupting, Skip, they played Boogie Cousins out of necessity. They went to Looney. They went to Bogut first.
He was the third option.
It was only when Looney could not return that they put Boogie Cousins in the game.
He saved their bacon when they were ready to just shelve him. He was going to get mothballed until next year, and all of a sudden they had no choice, and he played big. And maybe he played big because he didn't start. Maybe there are no expectations. Maybe he's better if you just throw him in cold and it's like, oh, I guess I got to play now, and he played. But the incredible thing to me is that Golden State survived another basketball game by playing, by their standards, by their championship standards, a poor fundamental basketball game. They had 15 more turnovers. Every time I looked up, they were doing something incredibly stupid. What are you doing? And they had blunder after defensive assignment blunder, where they gave them easy baskets, layups, dunks. What are you doing? And
Skip, forget the previous 13 turnovers. What about the last 2 when Steph throws it back court, when Draymond steps back in the back court?
It's just terrible.
You would have thought, you like, Steph, after all you've been through in a Game 7 when you whipped it behind your back, out of bounds, here you are in a Game 5 and you do this?
Every pass he throws is very careless and hot doggy, and there are a lot of little, he just tosses them up in the air.
Razzle-dazzle to it.
Little razzle-dazzle, a little too cool for school. And it drives me a little crazy. Again, he came up big with that three, biggest three he's ever made. But to your point, with 37.5 seconds left, they're up 3 when Steph throws it a little behind Draymond and puts it, because Steph got a quick double team. And Draymond was in trouble, but then he shuffles his feet and just carelessly steps back across the half-court line. And all of a sudden, you give Toronto the ball back. I was like, what are you doing? That's a play that loses that closeout game on the road, usually. And then what happens? Our man, DeMarcus Cousins, for all the good things that he did, he moves on a screen. That's with 15.7 seconds left. They're up 1 point, and they're trying to get Steph open for another 3. And let's just say, hypothetically, if he gets off the pick cleanly and it's not moving, and he makes a 3, the game's over because they're going to be up 4 points. Instead, nope, moving pick, offensive foul, and it's going the other way with 15.7 seconds left. And it's way too much time to give Toronto at home a shot to win the game down 1. So you have 2 massive blunders in the last 37 seconds left that gave Toronto new life and new life. And now let's talk briefly about the final play of the game. This is just me. After all the buildup for number 2, he is Jordan-esque. You just talked about, you thought he was going to have the Jordan conclusion. On the final play, to me, he has enough time to size up what is happening, because Iggy just roamed on the last play. He's got Lowry, but Lowry's running a baseline pick off Gasol to the far corner.
Right.
So Iggy just says, well, I'm just going to go out there and double him. So he's coming up on the left, and obviously it would be to number two's right, but to number two's left is Klay. Well, to me, if you're Jordan-esque, you see this coming, you realize there's no clear-cut pass to make. Nobody's just wide open like we've seen LeBron, where you say, well, what's his name? Kyle Korver was wide open in the corner, or George Hill was wide open for a potential layup. Well, there was nobody clearly wide open. So Jordan-esque, if you're Jordan-esque, you just power hard to your left on Klay with the basketball. You dribble, get him into just inside the top of the circle, and then you just bounce him off the way you can bounce off anybody with your strength, and then just rise up and shoot the potential game winner. That's your game to win. It's on a platter. It's you. It's your quote-unquote house, your new house, which is about to be your old house.
Well, Skip, here's the thing. What happened is that Kyle Lowry, he ran himself into trouble because Draymond was playing Marc Gasol. And so he ran, and so Draymond could easily come off Marc Gasol and contest Kyle Lowry. Once Iggy starts to cheat towards Kawhi Lowry should just go to the basket, like George Hill did.
Yeah, he's just running their play that they called in the huddle. He's running a baseline screen off Gasol to go to the far corner, and I assumed were they running that for him? It looked like it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it looked like, Skip, what they would call a 1-4, what we saw with Denver ran against, not Denver, what Portland ran against Denver, because he felt if Kawhi and Nick Nurse thought, well, if we get the pick and roll, they're going to trap Kawhi and make him give up the ball. So let's put everybody down. Kawhi, you get the ball at the top, you go one-on-one, and then we'll live whatever decision you make at that time. If you get the pull-up jumper, take it. But if they come with the double team, Kawhi Leonard is smart enough to understand, let me find the open guy. But what happened is because Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol was so close, it was so easy for Draymond to come off Marc and contest Kyle's shot. He ends up getting, I think, a piece of it, and the ball goes out of bounds, and they win the game 106-105.
He just got fingertips on it, and it went offline behind the backboard. But I think Draymond was actually on Gasol to begin with, and Iggy just let Lowry go, just let him run free.
Right.
So if you could have whipped it quickly around, he would have been open. Right.
Right.
And Draymond made a great defensive call because it's 3-2-1, and he just knew there wasn't time for Kyle Lowry to pass the ball to Gasol for some little bunny shot. So,
we get the luxury of hindsight, Skip. He should have pump faked him and jumped into him.
Yeah, I think it might have been after the buzzer. It'd be real close. Maybe. Yeah, that's the luxury of hindsight. I think you just feel like, we're 2-1. I got to just go and shoot this. So,
but you give the Warriors credit. Skip, I'm not letting Kawhi beat me. I'm not going to let Kawhi go. I know Klay is a tremendous one-on-one defender, but I don't want him in that situation against Kawhi. I'm going to get the ball out of his hands, and I'm going to live with anyone else beating me. Marc Gasol take a jumper. If Kyle Lowry, if Pascal Siakam, if Danny Green, Skip, if they take that shot, you got to live. Sometimes you have to be willing to live with a B, C, or D player taking the shot. I just can't let A beat me. I'm not letting Kawhi beat me. I'm not letting LeBron James or James Harden. You can't let those guys beat you. If your auxiliary guys, if they beat you with a last-second shot, Skip, you tip your hat and say, man, that was a hell of a series. Congratulations. But I refuse to let Kawhi beat me in that moment. And Steve Kerr, I don't know if they called it or Iggy just took it upon himself to say, I'm going to go trap him and get this ball out of his hands. That was a heck of a play.
Okay, 2 quick points. You put LeBron in the conversation. I'm going to remind everybody, game 1 a year ago at Oracle in the finals, LeBron's got Steph on him with no double team, and all he has to do is rise up and shoot a 17-foot jump shot down 1 to win the game. Same situation as this. That was a pretty easy call to me, and he whips it to George Hill, who's never played in the finals before, and George Hill gets fouled, and he makes one, misses the second one.
Pascal Siakam has never been in the finals.
Okay,
Kyle Lowry's never been in the finals.
Okay.
Never this Marc Gasol.
Okay, to me, if number 2 is the guy, if number 2 is the guy you say he is, then you have to just take that shot. Just go ahead and power through, go to your left, go around Klay the left way, because there's nobody clearly open anywhere. It's not like they left somebody glaringly open anywhere, because Steph stayed with Danny Green over in the near corner. So there's no obvious path. He whips it to Van Vliet, but Van Vliet doesn't really have a shot either because he's being guarded.
Right. Skip, if you remember, in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, the Lakers against the Celtics, who hit that last three? Kobe gave the ball up. He threw the ball to Metta World Peace and then tried to get it back. And Metta took it. Ron Artest at the time, he took the last second shot.
Was he open?